Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. My name's Holly. If you've been following the social media for this event, you may have already located me on Twitter and may have noticed that I am a level 3 criminology forensic science tutor. That is true. My background out of education, so my trade was art, fashion and dance for a long time. And when I did my teacher training, I found some really important links between creativity and any subject. We're taught at quite a young age maybe that doodling in class or mind maps could be a relatively childish way of recording our learning and displaying our learning, which I do not believe to be true. I find that they are extremely useful for many students as we have such a diverse cohort. Now I understand that on the other end of this camera there's going to be a lot of different people from different backgrounds and different subject areas and age groups. So all I can do here really is give you the tools, and the scaffolding and the application is down to you, and I can give you some ideas. And at the end I will give you some contacts for me as well, just in case you want any prompts or want to discuss this at all in any shape or form. I actually got the inspiration from this, from another workshop that I did, completely unrelated to education. It was purely about reflection and meditation. And I thought, as I always do, how can I apply this to my teaching and my own learning as well, because I also love to learn. And this is how I've shaped it basically. So I use this, or something similar anyway, with my level 3s, and I would encourage you to find ways to adapt it to your students, also or your learners, no matter what the age is, from very, very small to maybe even adults. And there is a way it can work for everybody, definitely. So the idea here as well, and when this went out, the brief went out, we were in a more firm lockdown. So this is very much designed to be accessible for maybe learners in the home still on a blended learning curriculum, but it can be a piece of homework, it can be a starter activity. You can form it as a part of a scavenger hunt as well. They can go and locate an item from, if you're lucky enough to have maybe a school garden or something like that. So I have 4 items. I've worked on 2 already. So I have my glasses, important. I am wearing my contact lenses, otherwise I would not be able to see a thing. I've got a nice dusty pink cotton, an elastic band or a hair bubble, and a key. Okay, and the study, I suppose you call it, that I did were on the key and the elastic band or the hair bubble. This is going to look different to all students and learners. It's going to depend on their age group. It's going to depend on their imagination, their metacognitive skills already. There are so many variables here, and the wonderful thing about this activity is that they can interpret it how they wish, and if you feel that you need support and scaffold, then you can. So this is why it's such a wonderful tool to use. So I started off with the key. And I did some close-up studies. If you are teaching a more of a creative vocation, then you might want to get them to do some drawing. They don't have to. Sometimes it's a nice point of reference to actually draw a piece of it as well. And then I started off with some keywords that I thought were relevant to the key, no pun intended. I've got here unlocks, strong, identified, unique. All keys are different. Safety, secret, and that they can get lost. I'm sure that, some early years might come up with some wonderful imaginative words that they could use connected to this key. And then I use those as a platform to write. Now, again, this can really vary across student. Obviously depending on how much they want to connect as well with emotion. It might be very literal, black and white and linear, and it might be about the key itself. So the idea here is that you are trying to get them to think about how the key might relate to them. Okay, so they might come out in the words. So unlocks strong and they get lost and unique. They came out because of me. That's what I think of the key. And what I wrote about it was a key is an important tool as it is strong and it keeps things safe. Even though keys are strong, they sometimes get lost. And this is okay. It just needs to be found. You could get them to form a poem, a picture, or it can just be a quick starter activity as a reflective piece, or just get them to connect with themselves and maybe meditate upon it for a bit. Okay, so you'll also find that this might develop over time, especially if you do it the first time. Some learners might just think, this is weird. I don't want to talk about any of this stuff, and they don't have to. It is just, again, I'm giving you the tool to give them the tool, and a space where they might feel comfortable and safe enough to actually start thinking about these things. Okay. The other thing I did was my hair bubble. Again, I drew a picture of someone's hair with a bubble in it so that it's useful. It's a type of support. You get variety, so you get different sizes, you get different strengths, you get different colours. They have different purposes. You get those squiggly ones these days. Never used one. This can be a form of comfort as well. How many students do we have? Learners have we seen that snap their bubbles, hairbands? And it's not always just because they're just fidgety. There's usually a reason behind it. So, and that's providing them with comfort. So it's that, and that's important as well. It's important to kind of identify, especially if they pick up on that themselves. It's stretchy, it's resilient, and it's strong. And again, wonderful platform to talk about resilience and strength, especially at the moment. So I didn't do my thread, but again, thread, you get a variety of them. You get different colours. You can use thread to patch up something small. It can be to patch up an old piece of clothing and improve it and rework something. It doesn't mean it's the end of a piece of clothing. You could use it to make a new tapestry or a new dress or a new shirt. There are so many wonderful things that you can kind of go into here as well. And again, like I said, the scaffolding's down to you. If you've got a student, then maybe put the key information down, unlock strong identified, then you might want to link on there. So why have you put strong? How do you identify with strong? What are your strengths? And it's just forming, again, those building blocks. And this can be a 2-3 minute activity. You can make it last half an hour if you can scaffold this really well. Again, art students, obviously, that's the easy one. Lots of close-up studies. What does it mean to you from this angle? How do you connect with it from this angle? What if you change its purpose? There's always wonderful things that you can go into from here. So I hope that is a tool that you may find useful. And this is definitely not just for creative study topics. Like I said, I teach criminology and forensic science, but their mental well-being and their health is equally as important as their learning of their curriculum. So just spending, a starter activity. I have mine in for 3 sessions a day. I don't want to always be recapping what they've just done 3 times a day at the beginning of a lesson. So I present it with something different and they go, oh, okay, it's one of those again. It's one of those slightly strange activities that she does. And it's something different, and sometimes it forms a wonderful conversation piece, which can go on for the entire session. And that's absolutely fine, for me anyway. So if you feel like you'd like some more prompts or to discuss this a little bit further, then you can find me on Twitter. Obviously I have been listed with the events, but I can be found on there as Holly MABA, or you can drop me an email at holly@hauntedhandscollective.com. I would like to make some prompt sheets to go out with these and maybe some different levels, so keep your eye peeled for those. because they'll be lovely to dish out to everyone for free if you wish to use this activity. So I hope you enjoyed it, whether you are from early years, math, science, sociology, psychology, health and social, anything. I really hope that you can use this as an effective tool in some way, and give it a try just once and see how it goes, and give it a go yourself as well, and build on it. They can paint the background first and do their work on top. They can use stickers, anything. It really is kind of a limitless activity. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy everything else. It looks great.